Cancer, and welcome back to the journey of self. I am your intuitive tarot reader as well as your host, Brandy, and this is the journey. All right, so this is going to be a quick look ahead into 2019. I've gone ahead and I've pulled 6 cards. I was prompted to only pull 6 cards. And this is going to give us some of the themes, the experiences, and the gifts that we can expect coming toward us in 2019. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've already pulled the 6 cards that I have for you, and I'm going to clarify on camera and give you a little bit more information on these energies and where you can expect them in your life. All right, now the first thing that I'm going to do with this particular reading is I'm going to start with the intuitive part. All right, now the one thing that I do see here, you guys, for the Cancers this year, it's going to be about moving on and pretty much letting the dead bury the dead. So whatever it is that you guys need to grieve, you're going to have to go ahead, go through the grieving process and let it go. Now, it's going to be extremely important not to lash out, but to reach within yourself and find the light within yourself. You guys are being initiated into a higher spiritual realm where you guys are going to have like a higher spiritual awakening. You guys are going to be able to pull in a strength from within and get some deep healing and some deep understanding in reference to some of the things that you've been through and what they actually meant for the bigger picture in your life. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first card we're going to start with is the Eye of Horus. 3 cards have already popped out. We're going to start with the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is about moving on with grace. There was a hidden card. I didn't even see that. The Emperor. The Eye of Horus is about moving on with grace. I feel like some of you could have even been part of a third-party situation, but that's not a strong feeling that I'm getting, so we're going to go ahead and quickly glaze over that. But what I do see is that some of you may have started a project where you were kind of like in an apprenticeship, trying something new, maybe starting a business, things of that nature. And I feel like it was a dream come true, but in a certain ways, you guys were left feeling a little bit naked, a little bit vulnerable. There may have been somebody in your midst that was a little bit controlling, or this was you, maybe because you were afraid to kind of let go. I see you guys being on the defensive, okay? Feeling a little beat, battered, and bruised. And that's the first card. Now, this card being about moving on with grace, let's see what else. It's the 9 of Wands here that sticks out to me the most. Feeling beat, battered, and bruised, but ready for the next task. So I feel like you guys are ready to move on, but it's hard because you've been through some things and the scars are still probably, very tender. And you're feeling, like you still need to recover. But however, you're working on it. Like I said, some of you may have been in a third-party situation feeling like this person was a wish fulfilled, only to find out that you were being unduly controlled. Okay? And this left you feeling a little bit bruised. This could also be about a partnership that you guys have started. Let me go ahead and reshuffle. We're going to move on to the card of the Spirit of Isis. Okay? This card is about being a triumphant warrior. This card is about protection. It's about being resilient, which is so fitting after this first card and everything that it had to say when being clarified by the 9 of Wands. I do see that there's something you guys started, though. Let's go ahead and clarify the Spirit of Isis card and see what the guides have to tell us. These two cards fell out. Once again, we have the Magician and we have the three of Pentacles. I feel like you guys, as far as career goes, some of you are going to be sorted after. Some of you people are going to seek your craft and seek your work. And you are going to feel very powerful. And yes, you do have all the tools. I love to see the magician come out. It lets me know that you have all the tools that you need to actually make what you want to happen. Okay? So, some people think of the magician as a manipulator. Some people think of the Three of Pentacles as a third party card. Honestly, I feel like it's where you dwell in your own mind. That's the most important. Okay. And honestly, the magician, I love to see it because the magician is the first person that the fool meets. I do feel like you guys did start something new. You may have doubted yourself, but you do have all the tools. But the old doubts and the old beliefs about oneself are going to have to be dropped in order for this to work. Because as you can tell, the Three of Pentacles pops out again. And it's like, I think you guys may think that this situation needs to end. However, you can continue and you have the power. You do have power. Let's go ahead and clarify that further. You guys do have more power than you think. Three more cards fell out. Let's see what they are. Exactly. You guys are very fruitful. You are going through a spiritual awakening. There are unknown things that you don't know. There are unknown things that you don't know. And I feel like you guys are worried. And it may even be needlessly. What you guys have to do, if this is a third party situation or a situation with a partner that didn't necessarily work out, you guys are going to have to not lash out. Not lashing out is represented by the next card, the Temple of Black Obsidian. This card talks about reaching into yourself for inner strength and not actually looking to go pick fights with other people because you are feeling a little bit down or you don't know exactly which direction to take. Okay? So let's go ahead and clarify this next card, the Temple of Black Obsidian, and let's see what we can actually get from this card. I feel like if someone has done something to you, or if you guys are feeling like you've been through something, you're gonna go ahead and take on the Page of Swords attitude. However, don't be too hasty. What you're gonna do is you're going to just speak your truth. You're not going to blame your truth and you're not going to look for a fault. You're going to speak your truth. How are you feeling? What are you feeling? What do you want out of the situation? Speak your truth. Let it be known. And as far as career goes, this leads you to a new opportunity. This actually is the beginning of a legacy for you. Okay? And you need to set boundaries, especially if this is a third party situation. You need to definitely set boundaries with your time, with your money, and your investment. Be careful where you invest. Because whether this is about money or love, it doesn't really matter to me. Pentacles always mean investment to me. Boom. Clarified by the last card, which we needed, which was temperance, which lets us know we need to temper our actions. We need to temper our feelings. We need to temper our investment. We need to do it in moderation. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. And once you set your boundaries, I think that what you think you want is going to change. And what you have is going to become boring. And you're going to have to change that. Because it's not going to be enough. Justice card just popped out. Too many of these. Justice card just popped out. I'm going to keep the Justice card. Now we're going to talk about this Initiation card. This card is about spiritual awakening, because this makes sense after this one, especially with the bottom of the deck where I got the bottom portion of what I just said. The bottom card of the deck after I did this clarification was the Four of Cups, which we know was about boredom, not like any offer or whatever. But that is after the last card that actually popped out, which was Temperance. So what does that mean? That means you need to temper your investments, what you do, how you do it. Okay, temperate meaning you need to be calculating and steady. Okay, you need to be sure. Set your intentions clearly. And then if this is something that's happening to you, you may get tired of the situation. There may be a divorce or end of contracts or something of that nature that comes about because of how you're feeling. in reference to the situation because of exactly, you decide what you want and it's not this, and you have to get out of it. It may end in legalities, but I think it's going to be for your benefit. More cards are popping out. As I say, for your benefit, the Ten of Cups pops out. Truthfully, guys, I don't say this much, but I'll say it. I don't really need the cards. I can kind of intuitively feel things. I've been an intuitive longer than I've been a tarot reader. Tarot is just a medium. I could probably do this with anything. Runes, tarot. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's the feeling that I'm getting, that once you've gone through this awakening and you start to really ask yourself and really awake and realize what it is that's going on, too many cards, you're going to really realize what you need to do. And like I said, it may end in contracts ending or legalities of some sort or divorce. Okay. All right, now this card is after all of these other cards. I can just tell. See? I mean, know what's up. Wheel of Fortune. The wheel turns in your favor and new love is offered, but this is only after you discover that what you already have may not be exactly what you thought it was. I'll tell you guys this. Sometimes we go through shakeups in our lives, like breakups and deaths and all of this stuff, and friends leaving us. Just to kind of, the way this is, I don't want it to sound just like this, so cold, but to bring silence, to bring stillness to our lives. Sometimes the things that we invest in are eliminated. First of all, because they're not good for us. Second of all, they're eliminated in such a way that brings silence, stillness to our lives, so we can actually sit down and reevaluate the role that we play and what it is that we want and where our intentions are actually being directed. This next card is is the proper burial for freedom. And this card talks about, once again, letting the dead bury the dead. Okay? It talks about letting the chips fall where they may, right? It's kind of like a tower card in a way, because it's about letting the chips fall where they may. It's about being haunted by deep sorrow and feelings of loss from your past. So what you guys need to do is go ahead and go through the grieving process. Don't ignore it. If what you had, you're still not convinced was not good for you and you're not over losing it, go ahead and grieve. It's okay. You need to grieve in order to properly move on from anything. There are 7 steps of grief. You guys can go ahead and look them up. They do not happen in any particular order. You can go back and forth between the steps. You can repeat steps. This is all normal. It's all normal. Everybody grieves differently. Let's go ahead and clarify. Oh, my shuffling is all over the place today, especially because I'm using a really old deck. This is like the first deck I ever brought. I actually taught myself tarot with this deck. So you can see there's a bunch of stuff written on the back from when I was just learning. Yeah. So as we said, then we have the Fool pops out, because after you guys actually give yourself proper time to grieve, you're going to have a brand new start. That's what's coming. A brand new start. We've already seen love pop its head out. We've already seen new opportunities in career pop its head out. I mean, you guys are going to have a great year. And some of you are going to experience loss, because that's what's to come. That's what's supposed to happen. But let me tell you, every time I've lost anything, okay, I've always thought in the beginning I couldn't envision my life without it. And then all of a sudden I lose it and I couldn't envision my life with it. Honestly. The Fool card, which brings you to a spiritual death and rebirth. Yes, there will be some brokenheartedness, some sorrow, but you'll make a choice to either stay in this place or to move on. That is the real portion. Okay, but I think you guys are going to come out of it speaking your truth and letting those around you know your truth. And also, too, you will know the truth. This is what this year is about. Revealing truths, letting you understand your intentions, and letting you find out exactly where you would like to be, which will lead you to innovative new ideas as well as contentment. I see you guys waiting on the sun. I see the sun arriving in your lives. But you know what? Some of you are going to go ahead and have to grieve whatever is lost. Now, when we talk about grief, it's not just about death. It's about things that we once held dear leaving. New money opportunities. Okay? If you guys were dealing with poverty and things of that nature, this is going to change. I have 3 other cards that just popped out. All right? And I see you actually making a choice that's going to bring renewal to your lives and getting away from negative cycles. Some of you may be dealing with Capricorns or earth signs, but I see you moving. Even a little fire is here, but I see you moving, making decisions that'll bring renewal to your lives. I see you guys moving to a new stage in life. All right. So Cancer, this has been your look ahead into 2019, just to see what to expect, some of the themes that you're going to be dealing with. If you guys would like a more in-depth reading, you can go ahead and come over to my website, thejourneyofself.org. This is where you can actually get your more in-depth reading, a reading just for you. Okay. And you can also comment below, and I will respond to you that way as well. Okay, guys? Thank you for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and namaste.